Hare Krishna and welcome to everyone.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Dallalki
Krishna.
Lalita garu vacharu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna అందరికి.
యూట్యూబ్ లో చూస్తున్నాను ప్రభు, నెట్ ఒక్కోసారి సరిగ్గా ఉండట్లేదు. నేను ఈ మధ్య తెగ తిరుగుతున్నాను, ఊర్లో వెళ్ళడం అయిపోతుంది, అందుకే క్లాస్ అటెండ్ అవ్వట్లేదు.
అచ్చా అచ్చా ఓకే.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
మిస్
Krishna.
అవ్వకుండా
మిస్ అవ్వటం లేదు చాలు.
అదే
చూస్తున్నారంటే వెరీ గుడ్.
లాస్ట్ వీక్ క్లాస్ చాలా బాగుంది డిస్కషన్.
Okay, so we'll I don't know what you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya cha Krupa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we'll be doing the 31st chapter of 4th canto, 14th sloka. This is one of the slokas Prabhupada quoted several times during his preaching. यथा तरोर मूला निषेचनेन यथा तरोर मूल निषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कन्ध भुजोपशाकाः तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कन्द भुजोपशाकाः प्राणोपहाराच यतेन्द्रियाणां प्राणोपहाराच यतेन्द्रियाणां तथैव
స్క్రీన్ సరిగ్గా కనిపించట్లేదు ప్రభు.
What's the reason?
ఓకే ఓకే ప్రభు, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
okay.
ఓకే
Maybe we can make the font a little smaller and put the
I think this is better instead of
మూడు లైన్లు వచ్చి 4వ లైన్ రా ఇప్పుడు వచ్చింది. అడుగుని బ్లాక్ వచ్చేస్తుంది, లేకపోతే పర్వాలేదు.
I don't
ఇప్పుడు
know.
బాగానే ఈ అడుగు అయింది.
Okay. यथा तरोर्मूल निषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कन्द भुजोपशाकाः प्राणोपहाराच यतेन्द्रियाणां तथैव सर्वार्हणम् अच्युतेज्य तथैव सर्वार्हणम् अच्युतेज्य सर्वार्हणम्
అది నా కాదు కదా ప్రభు, అనా ఉంది కదా.
अच्युतेज्य
तथैव सर्वाणम् अच्युत्यतेज्य
correct. Okay, last line again. Tataiva sarvarnaham तथैव सर्वार्हणम् अच्युतेज्य तथैव सर्वार्हणम् अच्युतेज्य Telugu translation.
అమ్మ చదువుతారా, నేను చదవనా?
లలిత గారు మీరు చదవండి, చాలా రోజు తర్వాత మీరు వచ్చారు. లలిత గారు
చదవండి.
హరే
చదవండి.
కృష్ణ. వృక్షమూలమునకు నీరు పోయుట ఏ విధంగా కాండమును శాఖోపశాఖాలను పత్రాదులను శక్తివంతము కావించునో, ఉదరమునకు ఒసగిన ఆహారం ఏ విధంగా సర్వేంద్రియములను ఉల్లాసపరుచునో, అదే విధముగా దేవాది దేవుడగు అచ్యుతుని అర్చించుట అతని అంశలైన దేవతలనందరినీ అప్రయత్నముగా సంతుష్టులను చేయును. హరే కృష్ణ.
हरे कृष्ण. हिंदी.
प्रभु जी मैं पढ़ूं?
हाँ पढ़िए.
जिस तरह वृक्ष की जड़ को सींचने से तना, शाखाएं तथा टहनियां पुष्ट होती हैं, और जिस तरह पेट को भोजन देने से शरीर की इंद्रियां तथा अंग प्राणवान बनते हैं, उसी प्रकार भक्ति द्वारा भगवान की पूजा करने से भगवान के ही अंग रूप सभी देवता स्वतः तुष्ट हो जाते हैं. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण. इंग्लिश.
मैं पढ़ूं गुरुजी?
हाँ पढ़ लो.
As pouring water on the root of tree energizes the trunk, branches, twigs, and everything else, and as supplying food to the stomach enlivens the senses and limbs of the body, simply worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service automatically satisfies the demigods who are parts of the Supreme Personality. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is a continuation to the topic. Yesterday we were talking about worshipping Lakshmi Puja, Ganesh Puja, and Devi Puja. All these festivals are going to come soon, right? Now, as devotees, we are not worshipping any of the demigods separately. So the example is given just like how you pour water for a tree at the root. You don't have to separately give water to the branches, twigs, leaves, flowers like that. You just simply give water to the root and automatically the tree is nourished. The same way, the stomach also, if you want to give nourishment to the whole body, you just have to simply give food to the stomach. Automatically all the senses become enlivened. They become nourished. The same way, you don't have to separately worship the demigods, and if you simply are engaged in bhakti to the Supreme Lord, then automatically all the demigods also become satisfied. So these are instructions given by Narad Muni to the Prachetas. So it's interesting to see the conversation as it goes. I'll try to read some of the instructions. Actually, this is a context. I'll come back to the context. Actually, what happened, we heard Prachetas, they are the children of Barhishad, Prachina Barhishad. Prachina Barhishad is again son of Manu. So Manu has two children, and then we'll go to the descendants tree. And then they were very fortunate, the Prachetas were very fortunate that their father instructed them to go to the forest and become self-realized. So they were very obedient, and they went to the forest. And when they went to the forest, if you remember, with their good fortune, they met Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva gave very wonderful instructions, and he gave a guarantee. He said, I will make one prayer. I will teach you one prayer. If you sing that prayer every day and morning and evening, 100%, the reason that you have come to this place, they actually go to near Kailash, in that Manas Sarovar lake. They want to do meditation there. So they were very fortunate to meet Lord Shiva, and Shiva gives this prayer. It's called Rudra Geetam. So he says, if you read this Rudra Geetam every day, guaranteed you will become successful in your self-realization of seeing God, seeing Krishna. So, in fact, we should also learn that. It is there in the Bhagavatam, and I love those prayers. I'm trying to learn it also. So, if we all learn also, we will also be guaranteed. Basically, the point is you have to take instruction from a spiritual master and practice according to his order. And in this case, Prachetas were very fortunate that they directly met Lord Shiva. And after receiving these prayers, 10,000 years, they went underwater in Manasarovar lake and they did meditation, and they were very fortunate and they got darshan of Vishnu. And then when they came out, of course, they were a little angry that there was no more earth left, because 10,000 years and all the forest has taken over, and the trees overgrew and all that. So with their yogic power, they burnt the trees. So the forest kingdom became threatened. It's like there'll be nothing left. They're burning so much. Then immediately Brahma comes and calms them. Don't worry. Don't have to burn everything. Then the forest king gives in gift their daughter. I forgot the daughter's name. He married.
Marisha, Prabhu. Marisha.
No, Marisha is the Daksha, no? Daksha reborn is Marisha.
అది ఆమె పేరు కూడా మారిషా ప్రభు అనుకుంటా.
Is it? No, Marisha is. I thought Daksha was reborn as Marisha.
ఇంద్రుడు పెంచుతాడు కదా తనని ఆమెని.
Oh, Marisha, na? Okay. Okay, then they marry her, and for 1 million years, they rule the kingdom. 1 million years. That's a huge number, right? So they rule the kingdom, and then because now they have to go back to Godhead, so they don't have to remain so long. So Narad Muni comes to remind them of their duty. So they are very fortunate. In fact, Narad Muni, while they are coming to do the meditation, Narad Muni actually goes and preaches to their father, Prachina Barihi. And he gives, because his father was actually not a devotee like that. He was into karma kanda and worshipping devatas and doing a lot of animal sacrifice and putting all the animals into, sacrifice. So Narad Muni says, you think you're doing a great job? No. All these animals are waiting to take revenge on you. He actually shows how the animals are waiting. And then he preaches to him. He gives a lot of analogies, like Puranjana, one story he tells, very, very wonderful story he tells. Puranjana was very attached to his wife. So like that, the entire story he tells, but Prachina Barihi said he could not understand the analogy. Oh my God, it was too complicated for him. Then Narad Muni directly tells him of the migration of the soul. So anyway, I'll come back to that. So here the point is, Narad Muni is giving such direct instructions. Actually, Narada is considered one of the great sages, and he's a sadhu. Sadhu means one who can cut the knots of our heart, our attachments, simply by his words. Simply by saying one word, he can cut the knots of any attachment people can have. Just like a surgeon. Surgeon has very sharp knives. So he knows if he can just take that very sharp knife and make a small incision like that, immediately he can get he can cut the skin and he can reach wherever he wants and do the little surgery, right? Like that, a devotee, when he is taking to the chanting of the holy names of Krishna, he also becomes like Krishna. The qualities of Krishna he gets, and one of the qualities he becomes so expert. Achyutejya. Achyutejya means one who is pure. Achyuta means who has no mistake. Achyutejya means you become like Achyuta. You become like faultless, infallible. So this kind of sadhu, when he speaks, so it is Prabhupada said, when devotees also become expert in chanting, they get Vakshuddhi. Vakshuddhi. So moment you ask, request somebody, can you, sir, please chant Hare Krishna? You'll be surprised that person will oblige and want to chant Hare Krishna. That is the power a devotee gets. And that is the reason yesterday we were talking, Parul Mataji, she had somebody who's very sick. So go and chant. So because devotees, when they go and chant and they request, please chant, you will not believe, but there will be some mystical power that will happen. Something from inside will tell them, yes, I should also chant. So that's the kind of power devotees get. So we should not think it is our power, but it is Krishna who's inspiring from everybody from inside, and that is possible. And this is what a sadhu does. This is the highest welfare activity. There are a lot of welfare activities people do, but this kind of welfare activity is not comparable to anything, because the sadhu, the real sadhu, he is actually cutting short people's punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, because every birth you take, it is filled with suffering. And this kind of suffering is what is being mitigated by the sadhu. Why? Because he knows, moment somebody comes in touch with Krishna, automatically everybody is satisfied. Automatically everybody is satisfied, including the demigods, and ourselves, the soul also is satisfied. This is the way to bring satisfaction. And the example is given here by Narad Muni like this, just like pouring on the root of the tree. Like that, if you serve the Supreme Lord, not only the Devatas, you yourself, the soul, also gets satisfied. And this is the way to get satisfaction. And you see, Narad Muni continues to give more analogies. See the next sloka. Anybody can read this?
You can increase the size, maybe everyone can see properly.
15.
Anybody wants to read? During the rainy season, water is generated from the sun. And in due course of time, during the summer season, the very same water is again absorbed by the sun. Similarly, all living entities, moving and inert, are generated from the earth. And again, after some time, they all return to the earth as dust. Similarly, everything emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in due course of time, everything enters into him again.
Once one boy, two small boys come to our class. One day he asked, how do you give such nice analogies whenever we talk? There are some analogies that you give. He used to ask, where do you get these analogies? I told him everything is there in Bhagavatam. And you can imagine right here, Narad Muni is giving these kind of analogies. It's completely like a water cycle that we study in physics, right? He's exactly giving that analogy here. How rain comes and again sun takes everything back. He's telling the whole water cycle. The same way he's explaining how the living entities also enter in this world, and in due course of time, everything goes back into him again. If you remember, we did all that Mahavishnu, the creation, his breathing, breathing in and breathing out and everything going back inside. So he's giving that analogy here. 16.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Please read.
Just as the sunshine is non-different from the sun, the cosmic manifestation is also non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality is therefore all pervasive within this material creation. When the senses are active, they appear to be part and parcel of the body. But when the body is asleep, their activities are unmanifest. Similarly, the whole cosmic creation appears different and yet non-different from the Supreme Person. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here another analogy Narad Muni is giving. So here, maybe if it is a little difficult, I can explain a little more. So what he is saying is, just like sunshine, it is not different from the sun, correct? When you say, if sunshine is coming into your room through the window, you will say, oh, sun has come. You'll immediately say that. But then, reality is sun did not come. If sun came inside your room will be burnt. But you cannot deny the fact that sun has come inside your room. Because the cosmic manifestation is also like that. So everything is Krishna. Everything. We spoke in the Bhagavad Gita yesterday, 10th chapter. Krishna is talking everything, whatever animate, inanimate, whatever you see around you is coming from me. Correct? But why is it that we don't feel the connection? That yes, we are part of the creation, but we don't feel the connection with Krishna. Why? Here, Narad Muni is saying, just like we have this body, all the senses are there. When you're sleeping, do you feel any of the body parts? You don't. You're dreaming. The same way, because our consciousness is sleeping mode, we are not able to feel the connect with Krishna. So we feel the creation is different from the Supreme Lord. That's why we are not able to connect with Him. The day you are awakened, so there is no difference for you. Everything is Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. A Krishna conscious person does not see anything separate from Krishna at that point. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmane gavihastini suni chaiva swapakecha pandita samadarshinaha. At that time, Vidya vinay sampanne, he is completely awakened in his knowledge. That time he can see everybody is connected to Krishna. So right now we are not at that stage. We are sleeping. So next. 17.
My dear king, sometimes in the sky there are clouds, sometimes there is a darkness, and sometimes there is an illumination. The appearance of all these takes place consecutively. Similarly, in the Supreme Absolute, the modes of passion, darkness, and godness appear as a consecutive energies. Sometimes they appear and sometimes they disappear. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So beautiful. He's explaining how with a lot of analogies. Everything is like an analogy. Now, Triguna, how do you understand Triguna? Sometimes just like the clouds, they come. When the cloud comes, it appears like the sun is covered. But sun is always there. But when the cloud goes away a little bit, then you can see light. But completely, if there is clear sky, then you can see actually the illumination. Like that, the three modes of material nature, when it is very, very thick clouds, like passion, passion and ignorance, you cannot see any illumination. it's like a dark sky. But when goodness comes, then everything is clear. So he's instructing them, come to goodness. Of course, they are already self-realized, but he's giving, as a spiritual master, he's giving instructions. 18.
May I read?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, Anjati.
Hare Krishna. Because the Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes, he is the super soul of all individual living entities, and he exists as both the remote and immediate cause. Since he is aloof from the material emanations, he is free from their interactions and is Lord of material nature. You should therefore engage in his devotional service, thinking yourself qualitatively one with him.
So I was telling how why you should worship the Supreme Lord, because he is not part of this creation. He is not part of matter. He is spirit. He is a supreme spirit. So when you are engaged in devotional service, especially when you're chanting and hearing, so you have to understand you are in same quality with the Supreme Lord. Achyutejya, you are same quality like him. So when you chant Hare Krishna, you have to do it with a lot of feelings. And one of the feelings is to understand, to become pure like him. So Krishna will make you like that. You are already that. So all it will happen is all these Rajoguna, Tamoguna will be cleared from you. 19.
Material nature
Hare
means
Krishna,
Chadvandi.
Hare Krishna. By showing mercy to all living entities, being satisfied somehow or other, and controlling the senses from the sense enjoyment, one can very quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardhana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is the crux of starting of devotional service. How does devotional service begin? We are all doing some kind of bhakti. Whole country is doing bhakti. But that bhakti has to kick off only when it is free from sense enjoyment. As long as you want to do sense enjoyment, your bhakti doesn't kickstart. It doesn't. Just like, in the beginning, you have an engine, car, there is an ignition. You have to put ignition only after some time. When the car ignition starts, then the engine will start running, right? Like that, this ignition to start, if it is very, very cold, the ignition also won't start. Sometimes you see the diesel engines in the cold weather, they don't start very easily. There's so much they're doing because it is jammed up. And what is that jammed up? It is our sense enjoyment. As long as we are thickly under the modes of enjoying ourselves, even worshipping is meant only for our enjoyment. Going to worship the Supreme Lord also is meant for our enjoyment. As long as we have that engine won't start. No matter what you do, that engine won't start. So here, the instruction, and the same, one of the 10 offenses of chanting the holy name of Krishna is to maintain material attachments despite hearing all the glories of chanting of the holy names. So that's one of the offenses. So that offensive chanting is good. Even better than not doing any chanting, offensive chanting is good. But if you want quick results, then you have to be free from sense enjoyment. That's the instruction. 20.
నేను చదువుతాను ప్రభు.
చదవండి.
Being completely cleansed of all material desire, the devotees are freed from all mental contamination. Thus, they can always think of the Lord constantly and address Him very feelingly. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, know Himself to be controlled by His devotees, does not leave them for a second, just as the sky overhead never become invisible. Hare Krishna.
Such a nice example. So, what happens when you do actual bhakti? We have read this so many places, first canto also. Srinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtanaha. What happens? Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We chant that, right? So, if you do this chanting of Krishna's name, what happens? Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. All the abhadra which is inside your heart, thinking, I am great, I am this, I am that. Actually, we are all very silly. Even for small gains, a very small something we get, we become very proud. Oh, I earned this certificate. I am so rich. Maybe you got little money, something like that. Just like that frog, I gave the example, found one gold coin, and she thought, I'm the richest frog. I can solve all the problems of the world. So like that, we are getting some money. We think so proud. Little money also we get so proud. Little fame also we get so proud. Anything we get also, we become so proud. Mad we are. So that is all abhadra. Contamination in our heart. They all become cleansed very, very fast when you associate with devotees and you start chanting the holy names of Krishna. And here, very important point Narad Muni is telling. At that point, what happens? The Supreme Lord is controlled by his devotees. So when you are asking Krishna, Hey Krishna, very, very sincerely you're calling Hare Krishna, you're calling him, then Krishna becomes obliged. And how does he come to you? Just like the sky, wherever you walk, will the sky go away, disappear? Can you walk in a place where there is no sky? No. The same way Krishna is with you all the time, just like the sky, even though he's invisible. So beautiful, right? 21.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, read.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes very dear to those devotees who have no material possessions, but are fully happy in possessing the devotional service of the Lord. Indeed, the Lord relishes the devotional activity of such devotees. Those who have not the material education, somebody may continue.
I will read.
It's not
Yeah,
anymore
read.
for
Wealth.
Those who are puffed up with material education, wealth, aristocracy, and fruitive activity are very proud of possessing material things, and they often deride the devotees. Even if such people offer the Lord worship, the Lord never accepts them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this exact same sloka, Kunti Devi was praying to Krishna, and she described this quality as akinchana gochara. Akinchana gochara means one who is materially exhausted. He does not have anything. In fact, Yudhishthir Maharaj is called akinchana gochara. Means he does not have anything material. He is supposed to be the emperor of the whole Bharatavarsha, the greatest, richest person. But Kunti is praising these kind of devotees as akinchana gochara. Material possessions, they don't have anything. Even though they were given all these positions, they know clearly it is not mine. Krishna put me in that position to do seva, that's all. But I don't have any of these things are not mine. In the consciousness, nothing belongs to them. This is the consciousness. It's not that they're throwing everything on the street and walking away without, that is called Falgu Vairagya, because nothing belongs to us in the first place. Everything belongs to Krishna. So what is that we are thinking? This is mine. That consciousness, the thought to think falsely, this is mine, that is what we have to give up. So devotees who give up such things, they are called akinchana gochara, and such devotees, when they are very, very blissfully engaged in devotional service, the Lord is extremely happy with them. On the other hand, somebody who is very puffed up and still they want to do devotional service, but their idea is actually not to please the Lord, but to please themselves. To get some name and fame, they are doing that kind of seva. Just like you see so many people who are very rich people, they want to go and give to Balaji some, golden chain or something, big chain, and they want their name in the newspaper. They're not really trying to worship the Lord because they have some money, they're just giving. What Krishna, Janardana, is saying here, Krishna never sees what you give. You know what Krishna sees? What you don't give. If somebody gives 1 lakh rupees to Krishna, Krishna is not saying 1 lakh. Krishna is saying how much you kept in your pocket. Maybe you have 100 lakhs more in your pocket. So 1 lakh is okay. But if you had only 1 lakh and you gave 1 lakh, that is very dear to Krishna. So here, those who are puffed up, they are not very, you cannot please Krishna like that. You need to perform pure devotional service. Only that can attract Krishna. Otherwise, it cannot attract Krishna. (22)
Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is self-sufficient, he becomes dependent on his devotee. He does not care for the goddess of fortune, nor for the kings and the demigods who are after the favor of the goddess of fortune. Where is that person who is actually grateful and will not worship the personality of Godhead? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here you can see, even Krishna is completely Abhigna Swarat. His Swarat means Abhigna Swarat. There is no match. He is supremely independent. Yet, that independent Lord becomes dependent on his devotees. He is dependent. Oh, when will my mother give me makhan? When will the gopis give makhan? So he wants to go and get this makhan as though he does not have makhan of all the things. Right? So dependent he becomes on his devotees for their love. So he reciprocates like that. See, for him, even the riches of, even Lakshmi Devi is present there. Nothing attracts Krishna as much as the simple gopis rendering simple services to Krishna. That is what is attracting Krishna more and more. He does not want to leave them. 23.
చదవనా ప్రభు
చదవండి.
ద గ్రేట్ అదే ప్రభు
Great sage Maitreya.
The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear King Vidura, Sri Narada Muni, the son of Lord Brahma, thus described all these relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the Prachetas. Afterward, he returned to Brahmaloka. Hare Krishna.
So, this is a conversation that is happening. Ante మైత్రేయుడికి విదురుడికి జరుగుతున్న కాన్వర్జేషన్. నారదముని ఏం చెప్తున్నాడో ప్రచేతస్ కి దే ఆర్ డిస్క్రైబింగ్. దట్స్ హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ బీయింగ్ రిలేడ్. సో ఐల్ గో బ్యాక్ టు ద దిస్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఎండ్స్ ద కాన్వర్జేషన్ హియర్. I'll switch to this chart. I gave this example once. Prabhupada told, just like before marriage, you don't know your husband nor their family members. But as soon as you are married, then immediately the brother's father, brother's siblings, brother's grandfather, everybody, husbands, everybody become related to the wife, correct? So you're very interested to know about their relationship. But imagine if you did not marry and you still want to have understand the relationship, it is very odd. You cannot understand anyway. That's also not correct. The same way, when you become a devotee of Krishna, now you want to understand the relationship with all the relatives of Krishna, correct? And you want to understand how they are related, how they are related, how they are related. And that is what we are talking about in this fourth canto Bhagavatam. I'll just quickly go through, maybe if you can see this.
Can make this a little bigger, I think, if you can.
Okay.
Whatever you're explaining, you
Now,
can make it bigger.
okay, I'll do that. Yeah. So now we know Krishna. Krishna is the origin. From Krishna, the first person he created is Brahma. So Brahma started creation. One is Manu. Of course, let me show like this. First Narad Muni came, then the four Kumaras, then Lord Shiva came, then the Saptarishis came, then Atri, Marichi, and Manu. Here. These are all direct sons of Brahma. So here what we are talking about is there are two sons of Manu, Priyavrata Maharaj and Uttanapada. This is what we were talking here. And he also has three daughters, Akuti, Prashuti, and Devahuti. And everybody remembers Devahuti because we spoke about Kapila Muni as a son of Devahuti. She married one of the Sapta Rishis, Kardam Muni. Okay? So now the fourth canto, what we are talking about is here. We are talking about the descendants of Uttanapada. So Uttanapada, he had two wives, Suruchi and Suniti. So Suniti's son was Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva, he sat on Uttanapada's lap.
Wanted to sit.
He sat.
Oh,
He
yeah.
sat and Suruchi was jealous and she pushed him away. She said, you have no right to sit on your father's lap because you did not take birth from my womb. So you cannot sit. So he was insulted. So that is when he, under the advice of Suniti, Dhruva Maharaj went and did tapasya in the forest and he got darshan of Krishna. So later he had two sons, Utkala and Vatsara. And they had 5 children. So it goes like that. Then they have Chakshusha Manu. So after Chakshusha Manu, there is again Ulmuka and then the Anga. Anga's son is Vena. He's a bad guy. So this guy, all the Brahmanas actually killed him with their power. He was so bad that even the dacoits, thieves, everybody were scared of him because he would torture everybody very badly. So from him, from his dead body, by churning his dead body, you see, from churning his thighs, Nishada came, and from churning his right hand, Prithu Maharaj came. Prithu Maharaj was so great personality, he was as good as Vishnu. So in fact, he performed 100 Aswamedha yagas. And again, here Indra becomes jealous. He thinks threatened, insecure with his post, and he tries to steal. Actually, he steals one of the horses. And Prithu Maharaj's son, he sees actually Indra stole it, but he doesn't do anything. So Indra gives him a blessing that he can become Antardhana. He can disappear, like, he can disappear at his own wish. Indra gives him a boon like that. But Prithu Maharaj was so angry at Indra, he wanted to actually kill Indra. He actually decided to kill Indra. He was so powerful, Prithu Maharaj. So that Prithu Maharaj again had children, and then here, Barhishat, Prachina Barhi. We are talking about Prithu Maharaj's third line, Antardhana, you see. This is the son of Antardhana. That's the name given because of Indra. He got that. Havirdhana, that's his son. And then his son is Barhishat, Prachina Barhishat. He again actually, because in the end he did not perform any devotional service, Prachina Barhi. And he became very attached to his wife. So in the next life, he becomes a girl. He actually marries. And Pracheta's wife, you're right, Pracheta's wife is Marisha. Oh yeah, here, Daksha. They have a son, Daksha, who is the same person who is reborn again. And this Daksha, look at that, how many children he has? 10,000 Haryasvas and 10,000 Shravalvasas. So what happens, see this Daksha, when he has these 60 daughters and 10,000 children, so again Narad Muni comes to them and he preaches to them the purpose of life is to go back to Godhead. And if you are in this worldly life, there is a risk of getting attached to the wife or children or family or anything, and it could be risky. So might as well you can, engage in devotional service. Guess what? All the 10,000 children of Daksha become devotees. Then Daksha was so angry, he can't tell anything to Narad Muni because he's such a great sage. Then again he produces 10,000 more children. And this time, again Narad Muni goes to these 10,000 children, and this time the preaching is very easy. He says, 10,000 children, your brothers, elder brothers are there. I explained to them about devotional service. They are very intelligent people and they all took sannyas. Guess what? What you have to do in life, you decide. I know your father gave you a job to, procreate and produce population in this world. I know that's why you came here to do tapasya, but that is very risky. That's not great idea. Human form of life is meant for God realization. And this is what your brothers did under my guidance. Now what do you want to do? Then these 10,000 children also become fully sannyasis. Then this time Daksha was so angry, he curses Narad Muni. He says that you have no idea what it means to have a family and children. I curse you that you will never have a house. Narad Muni smiles and he says, thank you for the blessing. That's not a curse.
Is this Daksha the same for Sita, Shivji and Sati?
Sati. This Daksha is reborn. It says Daksha is reborn.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is
the
one
60,
line.
So the 60 daughters, it says in that it's not written that it is, Sati is one of the daughter. Because if it was,
this is not the one. No, this is not the.
This is not the Daksha, same Daksha.
This is Daksha. This is a first starting. In the beginning it is.
Okay.
That Daksha is in the beginning.
He also
that chart is not here. That chart is not here because Sati dies, right? And again she takes birth as Parvati. So that is not written here. And this is not the line of Lord Shiva is not given here. Yeah, this is the Soma moon dynasty. We are talking about the moon dynasty from Krishna. Now, if you are talking about the sun dynasty for Ramachandra, it comes from here, Manu. Again, this Manu has so many sons here, you see. So this is from Ikshvaku, this Ikshvakula Vamsam we talk about, that is Ramachandra's line.
And
So
it's
you keep
quite
going
down,
down.
actually. I read
Oh
this.
yeah,
in,
quite down. Yeah, here is
yeah,
Raghu Vamsha, here
yeah.
is Dasharath, here is Ramachandra.
Aja.
Look at this. All
Here,
four.
Ramachandra, yeah.
So deep it is down. Before
Hmm.
that, so much information is available.
After
And here,
them
if you
also.
remember, King Vena, we were talking, one of the sons. And his son is Prutu here. That's the line we are talking again. So they mix a little bit here. And then the point is,
Vena was the bad guy, no?
Vena was a bad guy.
But he's direct son of Manu.
No, he's
Here
not
it doesn't
direct.
show that.
No, there. This chart is missing there. Means like it's just given like one of the descendants. That's all.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because prominent ones are shown on the top, because otherwise the chart won't fit.
Okay, okay. Acha.
Yeah. So the point is, I mean, like if you become more and more attracted to Krishna and his family, you'll automatically want to learn these connections. How Priyavrata Maharaj, Priyavrata Maharaj is such a great personality. You hear the Sapta Samudras, right? Sapta Samudras were actually created by Priyavrata Maharaj. He divided the islands and he made those, deep craters where all the 7 islands are there. For better management and administration, he did that. So like that, they are very great personalities. And here you will see from his line, from Priyavrata Maharaj's line, see there are 2 brothers, right? Uttanapada and Priyavrata. Now in his line, if you go down, is Nabhi. King Nabhi is a very powerful king.
Yeah.
And his son is Rishabhadev. Now today we have the Jain sect, which is coming from Rishabhadev. And he has Navayogendras, very powerful sages who they are like Narad Muni, they can travel everywhere. And one of their brother is Bharat Maharaj.
Oh. So the same Jada Bharat Maharaj, it says over there.
So but this Bharat Maharaj had 90 other, they're totally 100 children. Rishabhadev has 100 children.
So King Nabhi was there is one story that he gave the cow, not that, by mistake. That was different.
That is Nriga.
Nriga.
King Nriga.
Who became the lizard.
Yes, who became the lizard.
So this is nice, like how we see, family tree. Yes. This is the family tree of Krishna.
This is Krishna's family tree. You see, here again you can see that same Ramachandra's descent, that family tree.
Yeah.
So Ikshvaku, we just started from Ikshvaku. Here, Nriga. This Nriga. Yeah.
Oh.
So this Nriga happened to meet this Krishna.
I mean, when how many centuries he was in the Kalpas, yes. He was inside the
well.
The well.
But he was very happy because he's going to meet Krishna. Doesn't matter for him.
So he did one small mistake. Actually, he didn't do mistake. It was not his mistake.
Yes.
The cow went back.
Yeah.
Not what even is his mistake in that?
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone knows that story about Nriga.
Amazing.
Everyone knows the story about Nriga Maharaj. If you don't
Mataji,
know,
Mataji, I would like to hear again.
yeah,
Maybe-
it's very nice story. It's in Krishna book. It is in Krishna book. Prabhu, you can tell little.
Yeah.
Maybe Prabhu can tell.
So this Mriga Maharaj, he was such a great king. He knew to give charity of cows is very good. So it pleases Krishna. Krishna is Govinda, Gopala. So it pleases Krishna. He knows very well. So he had a program. You know what is a program? Every single day, he would give thousands of brahmanas, each brahmana to get thousands of cows in charity. So every day he would do this. So he would accumulate so much punya karma that you cannot imagine. Even if you donate one cow itself is such a great thing, and that too to a brahmana is even bigger thing. And this king is doing thousands of brahmanas and thousands of cows every single day. So one day what happened? One cow it was given in charity to a brahmana. So that brahmana was taking all the cows back to his place. But one cow somehow decided to go back to the Goshala, King's Goshala. So it went back to King's Goshala. Now the king gave to the next brahmana another set of cows. But this cow happened to be there for the second cow, brahmana also.
Yeah, now I remember, Prabhuji. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So the first brahmana was counting all the cows. He saw one cow is less. Then he goes back to the king. As he was going back to the king, he sees there was another brahmana who had the cow. I mean, like we think that we cannot recognize cows. That is because we are like spoiled urban people. First time I remember when we bought a farm in Visakhapatnam, near Visakhapatnam, there were a lot of ladies who were tending buffaloes. So one lady came every day. She comes and there is a grass. The buffaloes are grazing. So at the end of the day she goes away. So she has about 3 or 4 buffaloes, I think. So one day she was like, I was joking. And I asked her, so you know which one is your buffalo? She started laughing. She started laughing and telling, oh my God, you can't tell the difference between the 4 buffaloes? I said, you could be kidding me. I don't see any difference. She was laughing and laughing and laughing. She could not believe that there are people who cannot tell the difference. And we cannot tell, actually. So we are so ignorant. But those people actually know the difference between each buffalo. They can tell the difference. So like that, this Brahmana could identify his cow that it got mixed with the second Brahmana. So he goes to the king and makes a complaint. This is, okay, I'm so sorry that by mistake it happened. He requests the second Brahmana, can you return the cow to that guy? I will replace with another cow. He says, no way. I'm not greedy person, and I don't want you as a king to get any sin, because if you accept the charity back, it is more bigger sin for you. So as a Brahmana, I don't want to see the king suffer. So I cannot give this cow back to you. Then the king offers, okay, it's my mistake, forget about that cow. You take another 1,000 cows as a compensation to the first Brahmana, he tells. Then this first Brahmana gets so offended. He says, you think I am a greedy person? I came back to request more cows? You are insulting a Brahmana. For this, you will get bigger papa. So my God, he could not resolve this problem. He can't accept that cow. He can't compensate the cows. Both will be offended as Brahmanas. So without resolving this problem, the king actually goes into so much anxiety and actually he dies. So the next life, what happens as a sinful reaction for whatever he has done to these Brahmanas, he becomes a lizard. And not a lizard, it is one type of, what is it called, which doesn't move? That lizard which doesn't move.
The G say that
I know.
Girgit.
iguana.
Iguana,
I-
like iguana type. One type of iguana he becomes. And he goes inside one well. He lives there inside the well. And
But I think,
Udumpattu lantidi. Udumu. One of the Udumu.
but I think he was given the option that you want. Was he given the option you
No,
want to
not-
get good karma or not, or
No.
bad karma ka reaction?
That is another devotee.
Oh, another, not this devotee.
That's
I got
another.
confused. Okay.
So this one, ante inta punya karma chesina, because of one mistake, the consequence was so bad. Of course, because he did so much punya karma, he had to wait in that body for a long time. Look at this time scale chuste, he's there. And Krishna came back here. Here we don't have that family tree.
Maybe
here.
on the top it will be there, on the where the Soma.
No, you won't have.
Soma?
Here Ugrasena is here. Yeah, Kunti. Here, see, Lord Krishna is here. See, from Ila, from this line to any descendants unnaro, until Lord Krishna came, he was waiting. Until Krishna came 5,000 years back, he was waiting inside that well. And Krishna, of course, he knew he's Antaryami, he knows everything. So Krishna's grandchildren, when they are playing a ball, they kick that ball and it goes inside the well. So they were trying to remove the ball. Krishna says, don't worry. Then he puts his hand. Of course, he wants to touch the Maharaj.
ఇదే కదా ప్రభు ఊసరవల్లి లాగా ఉంటారు
ఊసరవల్లి ఊసరవల్లి ముట్టుకుంటాడు అన్నమాట. కృష్ణుడు చేత్తో ముట్టుకుంటాడు. When he touches with his hand, immediately he gets a beautiful demigod's body. Then Krishna very innocently asked, oh, I don't know how you came. Can you explain what happened? How you came out of the well? Then Maharaj Nruga, he tells this entire story. What happened to him? He remembers everything. So that is why devotional service is the safest route for everybody in this world, especially in Kali Yuga. So every story is there. Actually, whatever names are written in this chart, all the stories are there in Bhagavatam. Yeah. See, Katwanga Maharaj, everything is there.
Katwanga Maharaj is the one who gave his body. No, that was who?
Katwanga Maharaj is. No, that's another story. We'll touch that.
Yeah, so many stories. It's really,
Yeah.
actually, it's nice. We talk about stories. You know, if we are sleepy also, we wake up. Because, you know, you become so enlivened to hear everything. So any other questions anyone has? Any questions? We didn't have any questions today. Yes.
What I have heard is, I want a clarity. See, we have heard, so it's a good platform to have a clarity, right? It was only a shivling, Shiva, when the manthan was happening on the rock. When the manthan was happening on the rock, one side
it's
the
not
Devtas,
rock, it's Meru Parvata.
Meru Parvat, sorry. So the Shiv, who was it first? I mean, how do I ask you? I mean,
what came out
Krishna,
first?
Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma, where Vishnu and Brahma were arguing who's the most powerful.
There's no argument.
No, not like that. He wanted to ask that. Brahma asked Vishnu that who's your father? So Vishnu said, my father is Shiva. So he said, okay, you know the what is this shivling? You know the head and
Where
the
is
bottom.
this? Where is this conversation?
I've heard in one of the kathas. So Krishna
No,
said, Vishnu
nowhere in
said that,
Bhagavatam. Nowhere in Bhagavatam.
no.
Nowhere in
In this
Bhagavatam.
Shiv Puran, I've heard this katha saying
Okay.
that the Krishna said, Vishnu said that, okay, I'll go see the top. And he told Brahma, you go see the bottom. So Vishnu goes and tries to see the top, but he's not able to see. He comes back. Then Brahma goes down below the water and tries to see where does this shivling end. So he's not able to find. Then he says, did you find? Brahma said, yes, I found the bottom. And immediately there's Akashvani saying that, no, he's lying. And he was asked, then Vishnu was asked, where did you see the top? He said, no, I didn't see. So then Shiva appeared and he said, yes, Vishnu is correct. So from today, he'll be known as Satyanarayan because he spoke the truth. You cannot see the starting or the ending of the shivling at all. So who was the
We
creation?
don't know who these
Krishna
people from
or
where
Shiva?
they are. See, we don't know. We cannot talk about something which they speak.
I can
Because
tell
we
what
speak.
Bhagavatam says.
Yeah, we cannot
See,
say.
I can only say what Bhagavatam says.
Hmm.
Okay.
Bhagavatam.
What Bhagavatam says, I'll show you a picture. It will be easy for you.
Brahma is created, but Brahma was born from Vishnu's Navi. Is that right?
Yeah.
Even the is what
Yeah.
we've seen.
And Shiva came out from Brahma's forehead.
Oh.
Narada
Yeah,
came from the heart.
Narada came from the heart.
Okay.
That is what
So
Bhagavatam
Meru
says.
Parvata, what happens? Meru Parvata keeps on increasing. It doesn't
No,
stop.
first you tell
increasing.
what happened. The reason why this was done is because there was Amrit inside the water. And to remove the Amrit, you need to churn. Okay. So how do you churn now? There is such a big water body. Okay. जैसे दही है हम मंथन करते हैं, दही को मंथनी से मंथन करते हैं ना. तो अभी ये इतना पानी है, इतना ज्यादा पानी है गर्भ का. What ocean is this actually? Garbha ocean, right?
Ksheerasagar.
क्षीरसागरा. क्षीरसागरा में इतना पानी है, उसको मंथन करने के लिए कोई एक मंथनी भी चाहिए ना. Then from there you tell. Where did that actually?
Then you need Meru Parvata. So Meru Parvata was selected. So Vishnu instructs you use Meru Parvata. So how do you anchor Meru Parvata? It's not possible. So then Lord Vishnu himself becomes Kurmadev and he supports Meru Parvata like this from the bottom.
Why is that? Why is that? Because it will sink down. No, the parvat will sink down. You don't want the parvat to sink down. अगर वो sink होएगा तो फिर उसको कैसे वो लोग मंथनी यूज करेंगे? तो इसकी वजह से भगवान जो है वो एक टॉर्टवाइज कूर्म के रूप में आके उसको पर्वत को कूर्मा के रूप में आके पर्वत जो है अपनी बैक के ऊपर उसको बिठाते हैं. मतलब दैट इज द प्लेस वेयर द पर्वत वाज mounted. Yeah.
So and then the parvat keeps on increasing. It doesn't stop increasing. So again Vishnu comes on the top and he stops it. And he himself again expands as Vasuki, as a snake, and he becomes the rope.
Okay.
And one side Devatas are there, one side demons are there. Both are brothers only. Father is same, mothers are different. Diti and Aditi. So when the first time when the churning was happening, the first came out was the poison. The poison came out. First they said, the Asuras thought, oh, you guys have given us the tail end. We want the face end. Then they said, okay, change. You take whatever you want. Then they take the face end. As soon as they took the face end, then the poison comes out. As soon as the poison comes out, nobody wants it. Then they don't know what to do. Then Vishnu advises, you guys go and request Lord Shiva. He is the greatest person. He can solve you from this problem. So then they all pray to Lord Shiva. Then immediately Lord Shiva, he knows how to take the poison and not to swallow it to the stomach, nor to take it up to the head. So he captured everything in the throat. So that's how he became Nilakanta.
And then Parvati Mata came, and what I've heard, she kept her hand. So the poison is just there in the throat.
Don't know about the hand, but the snakes are there. All the snakes are there. That's why the snakes get the poison from the neck, because the poison is there in the neck of Shivji. Right? Is that correct? I heard that. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's tending to all the lower species. He's the Supreme Lord. He's a controller of Tamoguna. So he's giving, just like a great devotee has to give association to everybody. So Lord Shiva is considered Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Of all the Vaishnavas, the greatest Vaishnava is Lord Shiva. So he is giving association to the ghosts, goblins, all the pisachis, everything, all these type of people. And that is why he stays even in the graveyard, putting all the vibhuti around him and all that. He's giving association to all unwanted creatures who otherwise will not get any mercy. So Lord Shiva's another name is called Asutosha, who's very easily pleased, and he'll give gifts to everyone very easily without any discrimination, like that. So a lot of things come out. Come out from while doing the Martan, Samudra Manthan, and the final thing they want was Amrut. So Dhanvantari comes out. Dhanvantari is also Vishnu only. He comes out and he gives this Amrut, and then because then they start fighting. We want. Then again Vishnu comes in the form of who?
Who? Everybody should know. Vishnu comes in the
Mohini.
Yes, Mohini.
Yes. Mohini. And then they all become attracted to Mohini, and everybody will listen to whatever Mohini says. You behave like good boys, stand in a line, you stand in one line, like that. Then Mohini tricks everybody, and then all the Amrit is given only to Devatas. And that is when Sukracharya, he feels that injustice was done to the Asuras, so he becomes the guru for all the Asuras. Sukracharya. Even though Sukracharya is actually a great sage, let's see, Sukracharya is there in this family chart.
Sukracharya also was a great devotee of Shiva, right?
Priyavrata Muni. Priyavrata Muni, one daughter married Shukracharya. Shukracharya, where he is, I don't know.
Yeah,
but that is there.
Correct.
But the thing is that you can see in this pastime how Krishna came in so many different forms.
Avatars.
From the beginning till the end, the Lord is there. In the form of Kurma, in the form of Narayana, he's sitting on the top of the mountain, in the form of Vasuki, and then Dhanvantari, so many. And then last is Mohini. So I don't know where these people get all their information from, and so that is why we
stick to what Bhagavatam says.
Yeah, Bhagavatam says, because we can't talk about other people, right? What they are telling, वो लोग कहाँ से अपनी स्टोरी लेकर आते हैं, हम लोग किसी के बारे में कुछ बोलना भी अच्छा नहीं है, राइट? इसकी वजह से अगर किसी इस्कॉन डिवोटी ने कुछ कहा है तो देन वी कैन डिस्कस, हाँ ठीक है, उन्होंने ऐसे क्यों कहा, Prabhupada क्या कहते हैं, it will be easier to, talk on that. Right?
Okay.
So nothing else, no other, actually it's already 10:30 here, 10:24. So we'll stop the class. We'll chant 3 times Hare Krishna. You all can unmute yourself. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय